The Iliad. The Iliad is considered to be the earliest work of the Western literary tradition. The name the Iliad comes from Ilion, another name for Troy. So not surprisingly, the story in essence is about the Trojan War, or at least a snippet of it. The story begins nearly 10 years into the siege of Troy by the Greek forces, led by Agamemnon, king of Mycenae. According to legend, the Trojan War began when Zeus decided to reduce Earth's mortal population by arranging a war between the Greeks and the Trojans. He did this by meddling in their political and emotional affairs. At Achilles' parents' wedding banquet, Zeus invited the Prince of Troy, a young man named Paris, to judge a beauty contest between the goddesses Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. Each of the goddesses offered Paris a bribe in exchange for his vote. Aphrodite's was the most alluring. She promised to give the young prince the most beautiful wife in the world. Unfortunately, the wife in question, Helen, the daughter of Zeus, was already married to someone else, Menelaus, the king of Sparta. At Aphrodite's urging, Paris went to Sparta, won Helen's heart, and took her, along with all of Menelaus's money, back to Troy. As the Iliad begins, Trojan priest Chryses comes to Agamemnon to release his daughter, who Agamemnon was holding captive. When Agamemnon refuses, the priest prays to the god Apollo to send a plague against the Greeks. After 9 days of plague, the Greeks assemble again and demand that Agamemnon give the girl back. Agamemnon eventually agrees, but only if he gets to take Briseis, the captive slave of Achilles. Achilles is the son of Greek goddess of water Thetis and Perseus, king of the Myrmidons, and is also the greatest warrior of the Greeks. Even though Achilles gives her up, feeling dishonoured, he withdraws both himself and his Myrmidon warriors from the Trojan War. Being a vengeful character, he prays to his mother, asking her to pull some strings with the other gods so that the Greeks will start getting defeated in battle and realise how much they depend on him. The next day, the Trojans make a successful attack, led by Hector, their greatest warrior. Several days of violent fighting follow, at the end of which the Trojans have the Greeks pinned against the beach and are threatening to burn their ships. At this point, Achilles' best friend, Patroclus, asks for permission to go into battle in Achilles' place. Achilles reluctantly agrees and even lets Patroclus wear his armour. Patroclus is successful. When he charges out leading Achilles' troops, the feared Myrmidons, the Trojans are frightened and fall back towards their city. Patroclus, however, forgets Achilles' advice, charges too far, and gets himself killed by Hector. When Achilles learns of the death of his friend, he experiences terrible grief and swears revenge. He sends his mother to get a new suit of armour made especially for him by the fire god, Hephaestus. The next day, Achilles rejoins the battle and kills Hector in a one-on-one battle. When the Trojan king Priam, Hector's father, comes unarmed by night to ask for his son's body, Achilles agrees. The two men eat together and experience a moment of shared humanity, and so the Iliad ends with the funeral of Hector. The stories of Achilles' heel and the Trojan horse are actually not included and attributable elsewhere, but we'll leave that for another day.